Most of us spend our lives asking, how much money do I have? But almost nobody stops to ask, what is money actually supposed to do? And what happens to a society when it stops doing it? Right now, we live in a strange paradox. If you do the responsible thing, if you work hard, spend less than you earn, and put your savings in a bank, your purchasing power steadily evaporates. To understand why, we have to look at the engineering of money itself. As a societal tool, money has 3 mandatory jobs. It needs to be a medium of exchange, so strangers can trade. It needs to be a unit of account to price goods. And crucially, it must act as a store of value. That store of value function is the most important one for ordinary people. It simply means you can delay consumption today, put your wealth aside, and 10 years from now, it will still buy you the exact same amount of goods. But look at the math of our current environment. If your savings account pays 2% interest, but the real cost of living rises by 5%, you are mathematically guaranteed to be losing 3% of your wealth every single year. You are doing nothing wrong, yet you are being punished for your patience. This is a structural failure of the tool itself. For most of history, money was constrained by geology. The money supply could not expand faster than miners could physically pull metals from the earth. Following the Second World War, the global economy formalized this physical limit at Bretton Woods. The world's currencies were pegged to the US dollar, and the US dollar was strictly convertible to a specific weight of gold. That architecture held until a Sunday evening in August 1971. President Richard Nixon appeared on television and unilaterally suspended the dollar's convertibility to gold. That executive decision created the fiat system we use today. The money supply is no longer restricted by physical limits. It is determined entirely by the decisions of institutional rulemakers. Without an external constraint, institutions under political or economic pressure will consistently choose to expand the money supply. Every time they do, they dilute the purchasing power of the dollars in your bank account, which brings us to the core arithmetic of how fiat expansion actually works. An 18th century economist named Richard Cantillon observed that when new money enters an economy, it doesn't arrive everywhere at once. Instead, it flows down a specific gradient. Here is the gradient. A central bank expands the money supply, injecting capital at the very top. This money flows first to commercial banks. Being closest to the source, they use this capital to buy assets like property before prices adjust. We can see this exact mechanic in recent history. Between 2009 and 2021, the Bank of England created £900 billion in new money. This chart shows the result. During that same window, UK house prices spiked by approximately 70%, and the stock market roughly doubled, enriching the people who already owned those assets. By the time any of this expanded money supply reaches ordinary wage earners, the asset price inflation is already embedded in the economy. The exact same nominal paycheck now buys significantly less. There is no conspiracy here. No one is breaking the law. It is simply the arithmetic outcome of a system where proximity to the money printer dictates who captures the value. The monetary environment inevitably shapes human behavior. When delayed gratification guarantees a loss and asset prices are artificially inflated, a society logically adapts. People take on massive debt and prioritize immediate consumption over long-term planning. We are trapped in a structure where the rules governing the money supply are controlled entirely by the institutions that benefit most from changing them. So if the problem is a discretionary, centralized tap that automatically creates an unfair financial gradient, what would a credible, rules-based alternative actually look like? Fixing this architecture requires an entirely new blueprint. We would need a system with a fixed supply schedule that no institution on Earth has the power to alter.